asymmetrical is when I split it down the middle, the objects are going to be different. It's not going to be the same. However, although they're different, it still gives it a sense of balance. There's still equal balancement on each side, or the top or the bottom. It doesn't feel awkward. So for example, this design, if I split it down the middle, the shapes are different on each side, yet there's still the sense of balance. What do you think is creating that balance? The colors, very good. Look at this. We've got this kind of like pinkish peach color that is repeated over here on the right side, in the middle, and then as well in the corners on the left. What else is creating that sense of balance, even though it is different and asymmetrical? What do you notice about the shapes?
They're all leaves.
They're all leaves, right? So they're pretty much very close in shape. They don't change it too much. So the shapes really create this sense of balancement where they're being repeated. And so that's giving it a sense of balance, even though it's being different on each side. Okay. Radial. This one can be a little tricky because it's kind of like a symmetrical design, but at the same time it's a lot more complicated because what's happening is that the shapes from the middle is a center point. This right here is your central point. And what happens is that the shapes then repeat from the center like a bicycle wheel or a sun. Think of like a sun. And it's a lot more complex. There's a lot more shapes. But the central focus is in the middle, where it radiates from. But it still creates a sense of balance because there's a repetition and a sense of pattern from the middle. Okay, so shape. This is the next thing you should consider. So the first one was balance, the next one is shape. So once you determine, well, do I want it to be symmetrical or asymmetrical, maybe radial? Well, what kind of shapes am I going to use? So a shape is an enclosed space. So we have line, right? And if we connect lines, we get some sort of shape on the inside, an enclosed space. And shapes are two-dimensional, meaning they have height and width, and they're flat objects, so they don't appear three-dimensional. Three-dimensional shapes are considered forms, so that's different. And there are two types of shapes that you can use. But for this assignment, you're only using geometric shapes. However, I do want to show you both types of shapes. So the first one, like I said, is geometric, and the second is organic shapes. So, first type of shapes are geometric shapes. And geometric shapes are what? What do we see up here?
Rectangles, circles.
Circles, right?
Triangles.
Triangles.
Square rectangles.
And squares or rectangles. Now you can also include like octagons, polygons, yes, all of those shapes that you study in math. Geometric shapes, geometry, mathematically based. They all have some sort of formula that can be that can solve their size and width and their center and all that stuff. So these are some examples of textile designs. This is actually a rug, the center one. These are just patterns that were created using very simple geometric shapes.